Hi everyone, my name's Al Hussein Turay, and this is my media intervention proposal. So for the gender-related issue I chose, I would like to address men's mental health and the pros for men to seek therapy when they're struggling. Men's mental health is often a taboo subject amongst men because there's the need to fulfill the tough guy image and stereotype that most men often feel they have to live up to, whether they admit it or not. There's also a sense amongst men that people don't really care how they feel anyway, and they should just suck it up. And it's extremely detrimental, especially knowing the stats and the statistics regarding men's mental health. And since it is June, which is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I thought this would be the perfect intervention proposal to do. So, an overview. Over 6 million men suffer from depression per year and are more likely than women to commit suicide. Men die by suicide at a rate that's 4 times higher than women. And although they are more likely to commit suicide, they're also less likely to seek help. A survey found that 49% of men feel more depressed than they admit to people in their lives. And instead of finding healthy ways to navigate these feelings, men often feel ashamed or feel as if society blames them for their own struggles. So they're more likely to find solace in substance abuse, alcoholism, and violent behaviors and other negative vices and other ways that are detrimental to their health. And also, like I mentioned before, the tough guy stereotype, they feel the need to live up to that. So my target audience, men between the ages of 18 and 30. Now this is a pretty wide range, but to me, I think that 18 and 30 is probably the years that most men experience the most life altering changes in their lives that may cause depression or anxiety and stuff like that. Graduate high school, you have college, you might have a kid, you might, new careers, things like that, may things of that nature. Those are all things that may trigger men's mental health crisis. And I think that usually happens between the ages of 18 and 30. And I also think like those are probably the ages where men can actually do something about it. Like usually when you're younger, you really don't have the resources to do anything about it, I feel like. And the reason we want to start as young as we can, so this builds healthy habits for men to be able to express their emotions. And the younger you start that, the better. I think 18 to 30 is usually a good range for that. I mean, um, so we want to go as young as possible to start changing the stigma on men's mental health at an early age. We want it to lead to a domino effect. Um, Best way to tackle a problem is as early as possible and prevent it from happening. So if we help men develop healthy tools and habits to effectively deal with these problems, we'll be better equipped to handle them as they age and as they grow. And it's easier to change a person's behavior or mindset on something when they're super young rather than doing it when they're older because people tend to be stuck in their ways. Um, Also, we're obviously targeting men who struggle with depression or expressing their emotions in a healthy way. These men may feel trapped by traditional masculine stereotypes. They may meet traditional masculine stereotypes, so they feel like they can't ask for help. And they may not meet traditional masculine stereotypes, and that may cause a whole set of anxieties and different problems. Um, and then obviously the target audience may know already, like should know already, this is somewhat of a taboo subject amongst amongst them and don't really talk about their feelings. At least that's the stereotype. So we want to break that and keep pushing borders. The campaign key messages. So we're going to emphasize the fact that if you're a man and you have these sorts of feelings, you're not alone. Another key message is make sure the audience knows that getting help doesn't mean you're less than a man, or that you aren't a man. We also want to stress the benefits of seeking and asking for help when you're struggling. and also we want the target audience to know that having these feelings and emotions doesn't make you weak. We also want them to not be afraid to ask for help. This is pretty much the biggest thing right here. And we also want to speak out and spread awareness because if more men see that other men deal with the same things, they'll be more inclined to seek help, to talk about their feelings, to, you know, to really start addressing destigmatizing men's mental health. So as far as the campaign goes, the channels we're going to use are social media ads as well as a YouTube video. Um, this is pretty easy to kind of come to the conclusion because I think my reasoning was I think most men spend a lot of time on social media, so they're more likely to see it. And here are the rankings. So for YouTube, used by 82% of adult men. Facebook used by 61% of adult men. Instagram used by 36% of adult men. LinkedIn 31%. Twitter 25, Reddit 23, Snapchat 22, TikTok 17, Pinterest 16%. And we also I would I think was to put these ads in like maybe in between like videos that are more predominantly targeted at men, like maybe like sports videos or video games or stuff like that. That's where I would put the YouTube ad in between stuff like that. Um, so the campaign content, so what as far as what's going to be in the campaign, the social media ads will be pretty basic, I think. They'll feature stats and information related to men's mental health while also promoting the benefits of therapy and seeking help. I think we'll also do like testimonials from men who may have gone to therapy or addressed their mental health issues and how use them as a way to get more men to talk about their mental health struggles and to seek help when they're struggling as well. Um, I think a lot of times for men, they need to see an example before they do something. I know personally, I need to see that like, other people are doing it so I can feel confident doing it. Because, I think a lot of times men don't want to be the first person to do something. So that was my thing about it. So as far as the YouTube video goes, I think the storyline will feature two close friends who go about everyday life, but one friend doesn't know that the other friend is struggling mentally. He's got a lot of family problems going on. Maybe his parents are getting a divorce. Maybe it's an abusive household, something like that. Um, Struggling friend fakes a smile every day, pretends he's okay, but he's got a lot going on. And he doesn't show or tell his other friend that how he's struggling. Because he's afraid to ask for help because he feels it may make him look weak. He doesn't have healthy outlets to talk to, doesn't have anybody to talk to. He feels like, and he just festers deep down inside of him. And it all comes to head when his friend asks him one day if he's okay. And that simple question lets out all his emotions and opens up the floodgates. And he confides in his friend. And I think a lot of times, stuff like that, like simple stuff like that, actually makes a huge difference. Like if you're having a bad day or something like that, and somebody just asks you if you're okay, that can trigger a whole bunch of emotional release. And in this case, for this storyline, I think that's what's going to do. I think that's going to be really effective here. And it feels like a huge weight lifted off shoulders. And then he confides in his friend. The two later look up resources to get him help and to figure out his mental health situation. And this is loosely based off a true story. I had a good friend of mine in high school who, would, who had a lot of mental health struggles, and he was actually thinking about taking his own life. And our senior year, that was like the year he was going to do it. And then one day we all just hang out, and he kind of happened just like that. We asked how he was doing, just had like just a normal question, not even knowing what he was going through, anything like that. And then he kind of just told us everything, and that led to a huge, chain reaction. We helped him get some help, talk to therapists and stuff like that. And he's doing great now. So I think that's great. So the theory informing my intervention. So The theory that influenced my thinking in particular is cultivation theory. Um, Cultivation theory basically says the more that somebody interacts with a certain form of media, the more they think what's being presented in that media is an accurate representation of real life. And for me, there was an assignment we did in class where we had to read The Construction of Masculinity, right? And the article basically theorizes that much of what we see about masculinity and its perception is formed through the media, and they use magazine ads to prove it. So the article breaks down the targeted ads to men into 7 different types. So it's tough and macho, vigorous and sunny, refined and gentle, stern and sophisticated, trendy and cool, sensual and androgynous. It got me thinking of how men are portrayed on TV, and if they have the same influence. And I believe it does. So I thought, what if we start exposing men to certain type of media that portray them in a light where they express their feelings, they seek help, they take care of their mental health, they're not afraid to talk to people about it, what's going on with them. What if we use that as a representation in the media? And would that lead to more men expressing their feelings and seeking therapy and things like that? And I think it would, obviously. And I think cultivation theory is the biggest way to try and do that. Um, yeah, that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, thank you.